Foxwell's brand new RT1000 brake fluid flush machine. Got the user's manual, got a syringe to extract old fluid, package of all the hose connections, got your reservoir for the machine, got your two reservoirs for the old fluid, master cylinder cap adapter for European cars, power cable, extra hose for the fluid extractor, and here's the unit. You got your pressure that goes to the car, you got the two lines that go into the reservoir, your power cable, start button, on off button, pressure adjustment, reservoir snaps on the side there. These two lines here, one of them is the suction from the reservoir, the other one is a return. Here's how it looks connected to a BMW. I had the German car adapter. This is the on-off valve. Reservoir holds about 1.5 liters. The pressure gauge, the pressure valve, on-off button, start. So when I first got the machine, I was actually working from home and it was like 4 degrees outside in the garage. So when I hooked it up to the BMW, I was going to try to do the review just out of my garage. However, I got the option to go work back at the dealership for Lexus. So what I had done was I just waited till I started to work at the dealership and I brought the unit with me to the dealership. It took a bit to get acquainted with the dealership and then finally get into the habit of doing maintenance again. So once I started doing brake fluid flushes on the regular, instead of using the shop machine, I decided to break out the Foxwell. So here's just another video of me setting it up while I was in the shop. I will say, since I've been using it the last couple months, these lines have not leaked one time. It is a very nice, clean machine. Some of the only issues I face is if you overfill the reservoir, meaning like fill it almost to where it's completely full, it's heavier than the machine, so it will weigh the machine down towards the reservoir side. So I end up putting a rag underneath the reservoir to keep the weight off the reservoir. That way the machine stayed flat. One of these is the suction hose into the machine, and the other one is a kind of like a pressure relief. So once pressure is set with the machine, the excess fluid gets flowed right back into the reservoir. One of the nice things of the machine is that once it builds pressure, the moment it senses there's no pressure, it stops functioning. So you cannot introduce air into the system. In fact, there was one time I didn't have the cap on all the way and the cap busted off the reservoir. I heard a loud pop and immediately the machine shut off. So that was a very nice safety. So the standard cap that comes is a German cap, meaning it'll fit all German cars: Volkswagen, Porsche, Audi, Mercedes-Benz. When you first get the machine, you're going to want to do a bleed. Basically, you're going to hold the fluid either over a drain pan or over the reservoir, and you're just going to hold start until fluid flows out. Once you got fluid flowing out, I've honestly never had to redo this process. I've never cleared the lines. I leave the reservoir 3/4 of the way full. I do brake flushes quite a few times during the week, so I'm not worried about the fluid being old in there. But I have not had to worry about bleeding air from it since the first time I've done it. What's nice too is once you set up the machine, it will not function until it builds and feels pressure. It also has a max of 60 psi. which 60 psi is way too much for a reservoir. You don't want more than 30 psi. But once it feels pressure, it keeps pressure on the system. If it hits the max, it will cut out, like you can hear it in the machine. And just make sure I keep the fluid level full in the reservoir. So the unit comes with 2 containers to hold the bad brake fluid or the used waste brake fluid. They hold 1 liter apiece. I was using these for the first couple of brake fluid flushes until I switched over just to a drain hose. Sometimes it's annoying to stop and disconnect the reservoirs and drain them, but I will tell you, it does not leak. The fittings are real nice, meaning the hose that clips onto the brake bleeder, it seals very well. The lines don't leak. There's really no pressure going to it. The one thing I recommend is, though, once you disconnect it, raise the hose. That way gravity will make all the fluid drain into the waste box. Look at that dirty fluid coming out. No leaks. One thing that I will say that a lot of people don't know is not only is water bad and like moisture bad for getting into brake fluid, but water is the best thing to use to clean brake fluid. So if you do end up getting brake fluid on calipers, especially painted ones or whatnot, make sure you rinse it down with just water. You'll watch the brake fluid just run away. In fact, once I'm done with the bleeder containers, what I do is I just rinse them in water to clean them out, and it makes them squeaky clean because water and brake fluid do not mix with each other. The only thing you got to monitor while doing the brake flush is just to make sure you keep the fluid level full. That's all. The machine takes care of the rest. The car I'm actually working on in the video is a 2011 Porsche Cayman S. The calipers have a bleeder on the inside and the outside. I'm flushing way more fluid than I need to through the system, mainly because it's my first time using the machine and I was recording the video. But you can use as much fluid as you wish or as little as you wish just to make sure the fluid is clear. I just wanted to let you know what the vehicle was that I was actually working on in the shop. Also, when I'm using this machine, what I do is I will turn the machine off while the bleeder's open, so all the excess pressure gets bled out. That way, by the time that I remove the cap from the master cylinder, there's no extra fluid that's going to be pressurized and squirt out or whatnot. But I'm telling you, this machine is very clean. I've been using it for the past 30 days at least, and there is zero mess anywhere. The lines don't leak, they don't drip, and very little even comes from the cap area when the valve is turned off. Also, don't forget, this kit does come with a syringe, so you're able to suck out fluid. It's a pretty huge syringe too, so it pulls a lot of fluid out of the reservoir, which is nice. That way you can make sure you have the correct level in there when you're done. I currently work at a Lexus dealership, and since they sent me the cap for the German cars, I reached out to Foxwell and asked if they can supply me with the Toyota Lexus cap, and they did. So shout out to Foxwell. I have been using this machine, again, for 30, if not more days. I probably have about 10 or 15 brake fluid flushes done on the machine, and the lines do not leak. The machine holds up. The pressure gauge works flawless. The adjustment knob is a little tight at first, but once you get some fluid flowing through there and work it back and forth, it seems to free up. The reservoir holds a good amount of fluid. There's really no complaints I have with this machine. If anything, it's just where you're going to store it. I use my work table to keep it on. If I can find another table just to have my brake fluid flush machine on there, along with maybe a battery charger for like doing maintenance, software updates and whatnot. But that's just my own preference. Doesn't have no bearing on this. But I hope you guys like this video. I would highly recommend.
Hey, thanks for watching the video. One thing I want to be clear on is that Foxwell sends me these products. They send me the brake bleeder and these scanners of the reviews that I've done over the years. If you haven't seen them, please check them out. I've reviewed the 726, the 710, and the 614. Very pleased with the Foxwell brand. I got zero complaints with them whatsoever. As far as the brake fluid flush machine, in the dealership, we do this a lot during maintenance. Brake fluid is due to be replaced every 2 to 3 years. So it's very common to use a brake bleeder machine. I myself bought a Snap on slash Blue Point hand pump one, and we got a big old apparatus in the shop that connects to all four calipers at one time, and you got to scan a barcode and blah 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 blah. So once I got this thing into the shop, I just set up on my tray, and it's clean. I was worried that the O-rings would leak or the fittings would leak and the machine would get all messy. Honestly, it's one of the cleanest things I've used as far as brake fluid flush machines. It's very easy to use. Once you build pressure, it holds pressure. You can adjust the dial, to set the pressure you want. I got mine set just under 30 psi, and I've got zero complaints with this machine. I'm actually very glad that I took it on. They gave me an option to review this one or another unit they had, and I'm like, let me try that one. So if you watch any of my videos, any of my review videos, I always say the same thing. I'm an indecisive shopper. So my goal isn't to try to sell you on this. I can't make a brake fluid flush machine video exciting, right? It's just more to show you, hey, it works. That car was a Porsche Cayman, 2011, I believe it was. And then they sent me the adapter for the Lexus Toyota brand, and those are Foxwell adapters that I'm using. So they also carry a line of adapters they have. Um, hey, I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough, on how to use it. It's very easy to set up. And once it's set up, very easy to use. And if you are a mechanic or you have a shop or if you're just curious on, I don't even know, like, I don't say curious, but if you're wanting to do brake fluid flushes on the regular, it would be a good investment. I think you would make the money back in the labor in no time. Uh, Very streamlined, very easy to use. So I want to give a shout out to Foxwell. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to showcase the brake bleeder and do a video on it, folks. I hope it helps you in making a decision. If you are interested in buying it, I am an Amazon affiliate. There'll be links in the bottom along with a discount code if there's one available. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the reviews that I do. I try to focus my information on Mercedes-Benz and then now the Lexus cars that I'm working at Lexus. But hey, my name is Lou. Thanks for watching. You guys take care.